Hey, are we live? All right, give me one moment. Let me make sure. Oh, good. We got a good crowd too. Nice. Excellent. Excellent. Welcome, everybody, to this emergency impromptu Turtleboy live show. I'm not bothering with any of the theatrics tonight behind me. I'm just going to go ahead right now and I'm going to share this on the social media accounts so people know where they can find me. Okay. Live. All right. Live. And then I'm going to share it. Not now. Share it on this page. So I'm sharing it. Remember, the Facebook pages, guys, Uncle Turtleboy and Turtleboy Sports. Those are the two pages I use now. Give them both a like. Also, tweeting it out. I'm on Twitter at Dr. Turtleboy. All right. Emergency live show. Let's see. Emergency. All right. So I tweeted out. I'm at Dr. Turtleboy and at Turtleboy Phone. So get at me on there, and let's just jump right into this, shall we? How's the audience looking tonight? Good? Pull it up. Excellent. All right, cool. So share it up. Let people know we're live. So here's the deal. So I was in court all day today. It sucked, man. So usually court is like not fun. It's a pain in the ass to go to court, waste my time with this nonsense. But usually, like with these hearings, these restraining order hearings, which are absurd to begin with, they're usually like pretty in and out situations. So I've counted since I started doing Turtleboy, a number of people I've written about have attempted to obtain restraining orders against me in order to silence me. So that's the whole purpose of these orders. Is restraining orders are supposed to be for people who are victims of abuse, people who are being harassed, etc. I don't harass anybody. I don't contact anybody. I just write about you. And there seems to be some confusion within our legal system in our country about the difference between writing about somebody and contacting someone directly. There is a huge difference there. I write about people, not innocent people either, people that are doing bad things, people that are hurting other people. I am the voice for people who have been victimized, and I will continue to be. I like doing it. It's a reason to get up every morning. Because you see people that are getting away with being bullies, people that are getting away with doing bad things that are hurting innocent people. And somebody needs to stand up for their victims. This is literally why I wake up every single day. I love doing it. It's a pleasure doing this. However, a number of these people have attempted to silence me, these people that I've been exposing, because they don't like being exposed, period. So they attempt to use the courts and weaponize them in order to silence me. And they use these restraining orders and these harassment orders in order to do that. So if I'm counting out loud, the people that have attempted to get harassment orders against me, so far we've had Hadassah's done it 3 times and lost every single time. And when you go into court, I'll explain what happens. We've had Foho did it in New Hampshire last year around this time. We had, who else attempted to get one? Gaffney tried to get his mistress to get one on me in order to strengthen his case against me. K. Peter tried to get one on me. Am I missing any others? I feel like there's been like 7 or 8 of these. Oh, Charlotte McFarland's done it twice. Am I missing anyone? I feel like I've done this so many times. It's got to be more. It's definitely got to. Oh, Letitia Friedis, whatever her name was recently. Oh, how can I forget? Big Black Jeffrey's done it twice in 2 weeks. I've probably beaten like at least a dozen of these orders. They're absurd. They're ridiculous. And I don't really think about them much as far as the legal aspect, because in order to obtain a restraining order, the law is very clear, no matter what state you're in. There have to be 3 instances of documented unwanted contact. That is a prerequisite for it. I don't contact anybody. I don't contact people. Like, I write about them. And there seems to be some confusion because people think, well, if you're writing about me and then third parties contact me, which I have said time and time again, I condemn. Not that I even need to, but I do condemn it. People seem to think that if a third party contacts them, that's somehow my fault. I've never told. Now, if I had directed people to do that, that would be one thing, but I've never directed anybody to do that. I simply expose people. I have a large audience. Millions of people read Turtleboy. I cannot be held accountable for the actions of every single person who reads the blog. And I won't be. It sets a terrible precedent. I shouldn't even have to scold people for that. It should be just common sense that on the internet, if a third party reacts to something that they see on the internet, then the person who said that thing should not be held responsible for the actions of that third party. Obviously, that's not how free speech works. It would set a chilling precedent if it did work that way. So, with that said, there is a gentleman named Ashley St.Angelo, or I'm going to call it Anthony. So his name is Anthony St.Angelo. Anthony St.Angelo has quite a criminal background. He's been, if you look him up on the Rhode Island judicial portal, let's just do it right now. Let's look up his Rhode Island judicial portal. Let's see. I'm going to bring it up on the big screen here so you guys can see along with me, deal with the kind of person we're dealing with here. So you can see the kind of person that I'm dealing with here. All right. St. Angelo Anthony. I wish Massachusetts had something this convenient. This is one good thing about Rhode Island. So here's all these cases that he's been involved in. So these are, what are these? These, let's see what this one was. Oh, no, that's a different St. Angelo. That's the one born in 94. His cases are all down here. Da-da-da. Let's see. Is this the right one? Traffic. No, that's the 94. Where's the one, the 77 one? Oh, no, Sherry St. Angelo. Anthony St. Angelo versus Brothers Gas. Where the fuck is it? Actually, I'll do you one better. I got the police reports. I'm going to bring up the police reports in one moment. You're going to see there's a lot of them. Thank you, Amber. Thank you. And congratulations, Amber, by the way. She had a baby recently, so thank you. Someone tell Unc what? What did I do? What do you want me to tell me? Okay, somebody said, somebody tell Unc. Okay, anyway. St. Angelo. Oh, did I spell that wrong? Hold on. Rhode Island Judicial Portal. St. Angelo, Anthony? Did I write the wrong thing? No, wrong thing. Doesn't work. Anyway, no, it doesn't work. We'll come back to that. Oh, big audience here. All right. So this individual, I wrote about him in late August. I think we went over the blog the other day, but if you don't remember this one, allow me to bring it up here. All right. I will bring it up right. Share screen and. Okay. This was back in late August or September 1st, whatever. I apologize. So there was a missing girl named Marissa St.Angelo. She was 16 years old. And it was all over the news. She'd been missing for like 3 weeks. They wanted to find her. This is her father, Ashley St.Angelo, who I was in court with today. Ashley used to be Anthony St.Angelo, but Anthony St.Angelo has a bit of a criminal background. So how convenient to, transist and get a new name that doesn't come up on Google searches. It's very convenient, huh? So he is a whatever. I don't even recognize transgender. He's a guy. I'm calling him a guy. I don't respect his pronouns because I don't respect him. So I won't be compelled to use whatever nonsense. And I referred to him as him in court today because he is a him, and I'm not going to play along with this ridiculous game. So he started a number of fundraisers in the past, like this one that he started for a baby. Okay. This was for his granddaughter because his daughter Holly had a baby. So his older sister Holly, or his older daughter Holly, had a baby and didn't raise much money. He was trying to profit off of it. That's his granddaughter, the daughter of his daughter, who ran away from him when she was 17 due to allegations of abuse. If you'll recall, we had Holly on the show not too long ago when this first all went down, because she said she ran away because she was abused by him as well. She's the older sister. According to her, the story that he's telling is filled with lies, and the father inserted himself into it to try to profit off of an unrelated dispute between the baby. Whatever. Anyway, so they don't like him. Okay. Now, Ashley St.Angelo starts sharing my daughter is missing thing. Marissa St.Angelo is missing. Okay. And of course, he starts a fundraiser and he attempts to profit off of it. What will the money go towards? I don't know. But he starts a fundraiser for it and asks for donations. He's also started fundraisers for his dogs. Not that this matters that much, but this is the meat of it right here. This is what Marissa St.Angelo posted while she was missing. Thank you, Mike P. I appreciate that. Thank you. While she was missing. And by the way, so just I see people donating and I appreciate that. But I did, and I'm going to be getting to this. I started a GoFundMe just because I'm not a GoFundMe guy really, but like, fuck it. I'm going to put it in the comments right now. The Google takes 70% or 30% of your donations. So if you feel like donating specifically for this, there's a link to it right there. So this is what Marissa wrote while she was missing. And this is when it came to my attention. And this is what I decided to blog about. A lot of people share this. My name is Marissa. I'm a 16-year-old runaway and my life is in danger because of my dad, Ashley St.Angelo. I've been dealing with mental, physical, and psychological abuse at the hands of Ashley and my brother, Anthony, for years. I'm tired of the constant abuse. I refuse to go home as long as Ashley is running around, keeping this manhunt for me going. She's been telling everybody that I ran away to be in a relationship with an older man. I have no idea where she came up with this. I have been telling her for a long time that I have no interest in dating. I don't know how she has run with this lie so long. I know she's going to hurt me as soon as she gets her hands on me. She had kept me locked in my room for 3 months before I managed to get out of the house with my mom. When we went to the police together, they wouldn't even help us, even though they knew we were in danger because of Ashley. I think the East Providence police and any authorities involved are afraid of my dad because she's trans. Ashley's been lying to the law in the court in order to get what she wants, and that's why I have been out of the house for so long. I was afraid for my life 24 hours a day. Afraid for my life 24 hours a day. I couldn't live like that anymore. I've tried to get in front of a judge with my mom a number of times, but Ashley has already lied to them and got what she wanted. She has full custody of me, and no one in the state is listening to my voice. If Ashley gets me back, she will definitely make me pay for trying to get away from her for good. She is the abuser, and she is keeping this manhunt for me going because she doesn't want anyone to know everything she has put me through. I can't go home to my dad. I am in fear for my life in that house. I am not going to stop running from her because I am not a missing child. And Ashley does not care about me. She wants me back in her control so I can be the punching bag of the house between my father and brother. I am safe and I will not go back to Ashley. If you don't think it's me, here's your proof. Ask Ashley how I broke my hand. She's going to say the dog did it, and she posted that note. That's a powerful note. So when you see that and this girl is missing, that is news right there. That is something that needs to be covered. I'm sorry, that is newsworthy. Missing girl posts manifesto alleging that her father abused her. Yeah, you may stay silent on that. I won't stay silent. As a child screams out for the world to tell her, I don't want to go back to this house where I'm being abused and no one will listen to me. Well, I listened to her and I will not apologize for that. I will never, ever apologize for that. And I will not be silenced. And the judge today asked me to take this blog down because she wants this child's voice silenced because it's inconvenient for her. It's inconvenient for her to have this blog up. It's a pain in her ass. And she wants this child's story to not be told anymore. And that is evil. And I will not comply with evil. That is not what I do. So she goes on. She goes on to say, her sister started a change.org petition. However, when you click on this petition, it is gone because Ashley filed a complaint with change.org to have it taken down and won. Hi, this is on behalf of Marissa St.Angelo. She ran away. This is Holly, the older sister, wrote this. She ran away from home because of our abusive father, as well as I did when I was 17. I'm her older sister. When I ran away requesting help from the state of Rhode Island, its police force and the DCYF system, they would not help me. I'm scared Marissa won't get the proper help either. That is why I'm creating this petition. Marissa and I have gone through the abuse since we were toddlers from our father, Ashley and Anthony St.Angelo. Most of you have seen her letters she posted, and I want to start a petition to keep her away from our father to show the courts this Friday and any other future court date. Please sign and help me protect my sister and my mother. My mother and sister deserve peace of mind, safety, proper love, and care. Please note she is not kidnapped or missing. She's a runaway from abuse of our transgender father who used the fact that he's transgender as a way to keep. So this is two. This is two. Now we have two people telling the same story that live in the same house. You think I'm going to be quiet when I see that? When two children come forward and tell pretty much the same story about the mental abuse and physical abuse that they had to deal with living with this monster? No, I'm not the guy. I don't stay silent when I hear about child abuse. I don't do that. Maybe some people would rather look the other way. Maybe that's why kids die all the time in the system, because nobody speaks for them. Maybe that's why. Sorry for caring. I apologize. This other girl writes, who's friends with her, says, yeah, the window to her bedroom was locked and Ashley would sleep right next to the front door to make sure she couldn't leave. Marissa managed to break the window lock, and we would have to slide her plates of food through the window without Ashley noticing. A few times, Ashley had caught me passing Marissa food, and I was attacked by her verbally for trying to feed her child on numerous occasions. I talked to Marissa about sneaking out to get away from Ashley, and we managed to get her out and helped her get out of the house on August 9th. Ashley has seen Marissa after August 9th. Ashley and her wife had court on the 20th. Marissa was there, and it was the last time Ashley saw Marissa. Ashley's not being truthful. So there it is. Okay. Those are the allegations that were being made in the blog. I published it. And I'm also going to now show you some of the stuff here. Let's see. Is this the right one? What's this? Okay. This is one. Let's do this. Flip this one. I have some court documents here I'm now going to show you in a moment. I think. Okay, I need to flip this. Give me one moment. Okay. So let's pull this up. Share screen. Boom, boom. That come up? Let's make that bigger. Okay. So this is a protection order application that Tina St.Angelo, Ashley's soon to be our current ex-wife, I'm not sure, and Marissa St.Angelo, the daughter, the missing girl, applied for. This is the affidavit that they wrote, and this was denied, by the way. Denied. A judge denied this. It said, I'm filing against my wife and my son. They're both violent and intimidating to me and my daughter. We left 2 days ago. I told my wife I was going to the store. I had to leave my daughter's phone behind because she had a tracker on it. We left Sunday because she was yelling and screaming and scaring us. This has gotten worse since she has transitioned about 2 years ago. My son is just as violent. Last Thursday, he shoved my daughter into the fridge. 2 days before her birthday, he punched her in the face. Beginning of July, he shoulder checked me, always yelling and screaming, carrying both of us, whatever. Whenever my daughter tries to get out of her room, she will yell and scream for her to get back in. She's been very physically abusive in the past, has split my head open, and has been arrested for this. She has a BB gun and pepper spray. A few weeks ago, she tracked my daughter to a park, drove there, got out, started yelling, screaming, pointing in her face. On Sunday, when we left, we had to sneak our bag out of a window. This was denied somehow in court. Okay. Because Ashley St.Angelo is very good at court, as I saw today, is very crafty, is a amazing liar. What else we got here? Oh, we got some more. Okay. Let me pull up. Let me hide this sidebar. How do I hide that? Hold on one sec. Sorry, I got a lot of docs here. Does that come up? Okay. Let me zoom in on this. This is what Ashley posted. I forget what day this was posted. I've always been a friend to everyone. I've always put my family on a pedestal. I've been treated like shit by my soon-to-be ex-wife, as well as arrested by false claims and proven false in court, and the case was dismissed. I thought of leaving my soon-to-be ex-wife, but I believe that the court would give custody to mom because I am a transgender woman and being judged for who I am as transgender. Not only that, but the lies my soon-to-be ex-wife cooked up, so I decided to stay for my kids and only my kids who love me, and I love them, but the marriage, in my opinion, was over. As my daughter got older, I was framed by my daughter so she can get what she wanted, and my wife helped. My daughter is now over 18. She has jumped from house to house, living her life from one man to the next. This is Holly. And recently has been involved with a guy I believe won't last. In my opinion, her life is ruined. My other daughter is going down the same path. She's been involved with a 49-year-old guy. Remember in her post, Marissa said that my dad is accusing me of sleeping with the 49-year-old man. That is completely made up. That is a complete lie. This man is attempting to smear and defame his own flesh and blood, because she had the audacity to speak out and try to get away from him. But the frame up job has not only come back, it has been with a vengeance. My wife knew about this relationship, and allowing it was unimaginable, to say the least. And then let's see what else we got. This is more of the same post. They told me my daughter is 16 and she can fuck whoever she wanted, and there was nothing I can do. I wanted to beat him, but I took the higher road and threw him off my property. My wife soon later, the same day, to leave with him after he stole tools and other miscellaneous property from me. Within a few days, the public bashing started, causing violence to not only me, but to my 15-year-old son. All the while, nobody knew the truth, and my wife and two daughters laughing in the background. Remember this part right here, folks. I want you to remember this part right here, this phrase. This is very interesting, this phrase. My two daughters laughing in the background while we have eggs, bricks, and rocks, and so on, thrown at the home. Remember that. Eggs, bricks, and rocks. Remember those three objects, please, thrown at his home. And we were in fear of bullets being next. So he's acting like his home is under attack. Somebody's attacking his home. This is what he always does. This is the same thing he's doing to me in an attempt to get an order. Yes, I'm a transgender woman and know that I had nothing to do with it, but they made it part of their plan to publicly destroy me. My wife knew since day one, 23 years ago, and never had a problem. She brought me willingly for my top surgery and chose the size I should get for top surgery, and sex was more incredible for her since. Oh, TMI. But now I have been shamed and at risk of losing our home and leaving us flat. The lies continue and public shaming is still going on, bringing false witness to court, and later the only joy I get in my life is proving in court all their lies. Some have been proven in court by medical documents, blah, 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 blah. Here's another document. Here's a police report I got my hands on. With the East Providence police are very familiar with Marissa St.Angelo. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it says on May 7th, 2015 at approximately 2:48, we were dispatched for a report of a suicidal man. Dispatch advised responding units that the male, Anthony St.Angelo, had made suicidal comments at his doctor's appointment and should be en route back to his home. Upon our arrival, we spoke to Tina St.Angelo, who is Anthony's wife. Tina stated that she was unaware of any mental health issues going on with Anthony and stated that he should be on the way home from work. I spoke with the reporting family from Warren Family Practice, who stated that in an earlier appointment, Anthony was informed by his primary care doctor that his request for a sex change had been denied. They stated that after learning that he was being denied, Anthony stated that he had nothing left to live for and was going to end himself. While on scene, I spoke with Tina. Anthony arrived home. When questioned about the comments, Anthony stated that he was, quote unquote, wasn't going to deny them and that, quote, it's his life and his choice. A rescue was requested to our location for a mental health evaluation. East Providence Fire arrived. Anthony refused to be transported and became combative. He was handcuffed and secured in the rescue. He was transported to the hospital where he was left in the care and custody of emergency room staff. So this is a mentally unwell person, a very mentally unwell person. If you Google his name, you'll see a Go Local Providence article come up in which he had to be talked off a bridge from killing himself, allegedly. Police that we spoke with think that he was just doing it because this is what he does for attention. But whatever, we're not here to discuss his motivation. So here is another incident report, just an example of many. This is in 2016. This is East Providence incident report. Anthony St.Angelo. They are there for domestic vandalism, malicious injury to property, duty to stop, damage to ATT vehicle, domestic and disorderly conduct. That's nice. Here's the statement. What date is this? This is a month earlier in 2016. On January 27, 2016, Patrolman Pacheco and I were dispatched to this home for the report of a suicidal female that had fled the residence. While en route, we were advised that the female was operating a silver Ford Explorer bearing Rhode Island registration. I responded to the scene as the officers checked the area. Upon arrival on scene, I spoke with Anthony St.Angelo, who stated that just prior to our arrival, he was arguing with his wife Tina. He said it was a verbal argument and left the house subsequently after. He followed her outside, and according to Anthony, she stated that she was going to, quote, ram my car, and that she was suicidal. While speaking with him, Sergeant Benoit located the vehicle and conducted a motor vehicle stop for the purposes of a well-being check. I responded to the scene and spoke with Tina. She appeared to be completely calm and was not emotionally disturbed from what I observed. I asked her if she was depressed or if she had any thoughts of harming herself. She stated not at all, and that this was stemming from an argument with her husband, Anthony. Sergeant Benoit checked for police contact and IMC and was unable to locate any reports taken for psychological issues involving Tina. He did, however, find that Anthony had been transported on several occasions for mental health referrals. Patrolman Cordero also later informed me that on a previous call for service, Anthony had called the station pretending to be someone else and reporting that he was suicidal. This guy called the East Providence Police Department and framed his wife by saying that she was suicidal. She's fine. She got pulled over. She doesn't know what they're talking about. This guy literally made it all up. Based on the history of Anthony's untruthfulness and the fact that Tina had no signs of depression or suicidal ideations, she was released from the scene. Tina stated that she would be staying with her mother for the night in Exeter and would return home in the morning. Officers cleared. So this is what this guy does. He just makes things up, guys. He makes things up. So where was I in the story? So I write this blog, and honestly, I forgot about it. Not much happened, really. And then on New Year's Eve, I start getting a barrage of emails, a whole bunch of emails. And let's see if I have them here. I think I've showed some of these before. So let's check out these emails. Let me pull it up. And these emails are from Ashley St.Angelo. So here they are saying, let's see, proof this was not made up. This guy was having an affair with my 16-year-old. So he kept sending me things saying, no, you got this all wrong. I'm really innocent. Like I never abused my daughter. My daughter's a liar. My daughter's having sex with a 49-year-old man. Expose him instead. Here's my proof. And he didn't provide much proof at all. I mean, this guy, George, granted, he seems like a sketchy guy, but there's absolutely no evidence he provided that his daughter's sleeping with him. He goes, I have almost given up on my life altogether from the abusive situation from not only my wife, but what my wife and daughter, Holly, as well as one of her many former boyfriends have caused problems at the home. I was overstressed as well and emotionally drained, so I decided suicide was the right way of ending everything. See the article below, and he links the article where he was caught trying to jump off a bridge. After that moment in life, I sought help to get my life back on the right track and do what's right by my family. I've worked hard for years to become the better person I am now than the decent person I used to be. Not only was all the stress at home going on, I had lost my job because of an injury and I received at work and could no longer work. I never fought for workers' comp or any other collectible kind of assistance related to work. I went on full disability. So this guy doesn't even work. That's why he has time for this. He's literally just collects from the state. Because I had no choice, it was hard for me to even get out of bed every day. Even now, I'm a physical wreck because I'm a mentally strong person and work my ass off to be the best person I can. If you need to, I do have a letter from a person. I do volunteer work, delivering groceries to seniors every week, but I prefer not to because I don't know what you would do with that information as far as putting it online or so on. But understand, I did give up at one point. Then I saw the light of how bad my kids and everything else around the people I know would be ruined forever. Not just my family, but for the people who depend on me for not just money, but for knowledge, friendship, and so on. Even though all this garbage from the divorce I never had, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so this is his, he's just rambling on. He said he had evidence that, like, because again, if I publish something and I get it wrong, or you want something taken down, I don't bite. Feel free to email me. If it's legit and you have evidence, I'll take it down, right? I'll offer you an apology even. I want to get things right. And people make mistakes, so I'm open to correct mistakes. but Anthony is not providing any evidence of any mistakes here. So I can't take anything down. Like, this is just a rant about whatever. Like, this has nothing to do with anything. Here's another one. In your own story, you show a picture of my granddaughter from my daughter, Holly St.Angelo. One of the documents I sent you shows my granddaughter got taken away from her because Holly was neglectful towards her own daughter. So they used that for sympathy. She lost her daughter due to neglect and blamed it on me because they called DCYF on me for abuse, and DCYF proved I was not abusive or neglectful, but my daughter Holly was. Of course, he provides no documents to back any of this up. And to me, it's just like, dude, this is making things worse, in my opinion. When I read these, I'm like, this actually makes you look worse, dude. Like, your daughters alleged that you were abusive, and you're like, what, slut shaming them? Like, you're just shaming them to me? That makes you even worse. This is your flesh and blood. You created this life, and you're just crapping on them to a stranger? No, and not proving any of it either. This is really not intentionally trying to trash my family, but I have to prove you the truth. The reason for the fundraiser was for a lawyer and private investigators. Yeah. Yes, I did need help because Tina, my soon-to-be ex-wife, took all of our money out of the bank and left us completely broke. I mean, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about any of this stuff. Talking about $170 in donations I received. I don't care about any of this stuff. I will wait your response, and hopefully you guys will do the right thing by us, the true victims in all this. So I don't publish any of this. You know what I mean? I'm like, I didn't even respond. Okay. Then on January 4th, I start getting these weird emails. Okay. From a person called Jenny Manning. Let me see if I can find the first email that Jenny Manning sent to me. Do I have it here? Okay. They're all dated. January 5th, 4th. So Jenny Manning contacts me and is like, he sent me a couple emails first saying like, we're going to write a blog about you unless you answer our questions. And I just ignore it. I'm like, I'm not responding to this clown. I'm not feeding into this. So he sends me this as a threat. Well, hello, Mr. Carney. Since you're not choosing to answer my previous email, we will get in contact with your family. So again, this is what these people do. They think they can't get to me, so they go to my family, who's completely innocent and doesn't really like what I do anyway, to see if they'll give you a response. There's no threats being made. We are just looking for comments to respond to our blog. So Jenny Manning is Ashley St.Angelo, of course, but never says that. Jenny Manning claims to work for some organization called the Justice League, which is an anti-defamation organization that, fights on behalf of people who have been defamed on the internet. They seek justice. Of course, no such entity exists. There is no Jenny Manning. This is a burner Gmail account, and I don't respond to it. And so they start threatening my family here. Okay. We are looking for your side of the story. Please respond so we don't need to bother these nice folks. Thank you. And then he lists my mother, my father, and my wife. Now, none of these phone numbers are even accurate. I don't even know. This guy, like, he probably uses one of those free websites. I mean, none of those, I don't even recognize those numbers. That's my old landline growing up, 791-0808, but we haven't used that number in years. But so as you can see here, I say, do not contact me or any member of my family again. And then they respond back, I would just like a response if possible. Okay. So this is what I'm dealing with there. Now, let's find the others from so January 4th comes around. Let's see. Are there any more from January 4th? This is the 30th, 6th, 4th. Okay. So here we go. So the Justice League goes and writes a blog about me. And the blog says, which is sent to like everybody in my family, newly updated photos of hubby and kids. We would like to know if you would like to respond to our blog regarding Turtleboy Sports. We are fair and will accept any comments in an opportunity to defend yourselves in this matter. Our blog went live yesterday and updated this morning with already 218 supporters and growing quickly. You are not required to comment and by no means being harassed into doing so. You may do this at your own free will. We want your views or opinions and our free speech about you and hubby being owner-operator of Turtleboy Sports. We will come back to that. Let's look at the blog that he wrote about me. Some of you may have seen this already. So he started a WordPress blog called turtleboyfrauds.wordpress.com. Do we have that? Okay, yes, here it is. Let's bring this up. Keep in mind, this is like 5 days after he emailed me with his real name and I didn't respond. So let's read this blog. Aiden Carney, son of former school committee member Mary Mullaney, born on December 26, 1981, is the face behind Turtleboy Sports and is a failed school teacher and a failed sports writer. He's a former Shepherd Hill regional teacher who was fired after an incident related to sexual misconduct with students. So this is the anti-defamation blog is already defaming within the first two sentences. Who was fired after an incident related to sexual misconduct with students and now refers to Worcester parents and their children as savages. Yet he has a blog called Turtleboy Sports as well as other names like Uncle Turtleboy, TV Daily News, or Turtle Nation, and so on. He's been arrested in St. Joseph County, Indiana, unknown charges. That is not true. I was not arrested at all. I got a seatbelt violation when I was visiting the University of Notre Dame for a football game that weekend, and I never paid the ticket. So I can't drive in the state of Indiana because I never paid the seatbelt fine. Anyway, and locally referred to as a sexual deviant and in the closet crossdresser. Why hide being a crossdresser? Who cares? Live your life free. By others, as well as being accused of sexually assaulting an unknown woman at the Patriots Buffalo Bills game. His wife works as a teacher in Fitchburg and married him in 2013. They are just alike from what others have said. Both of them are sexual deviants. So now, like, again, they not come. I don't talk about my family much on air because they don't like what I do, to be quite frank with you. They're not fans of it. And they certainly don't like getting dragged into it, which I realize that simply by talking about this puts a target on them. But I don't know what else to do because they're going to do it anyway. So he goes on and he says, let's see, both of them are sexual deviants and they grew up and grew their relationship into a marriage due to their same sexual excitements. It wouldn't surprise me if they had a BDSM room in their house, especially with some of their nasty stories I've heard of. But let's get on with the story. They currently live in Jefferson, Mass, and are being threatened with physical and bodily harm. They moved out of Worcester for harassing the citizens of Worcester from being disgraced for Aiden's action related to the sexual misconduct investigation with students and the accused sexual assault against the unknown woman. What? They were chicken shits hiding from all they've done to the public, to the point even Facebook, PayPal, and I believe Twitter at one point threw them off their site as individuals and anything to do with the Turtleboy group. Now they turn into angry bloggers to go out and publicly destroy good people because they got shamed for their own actions. They go far and beyond to make sure they misrepresent the facts and hide behind journalism or free speech and cop collars when confronted to protect themselves. They find out the articles they posted is wrong, and instead of correcting the truth or telling the truth, even when provided with full facts of the truth, they cover up that they're lies online. Cowards. So obviously, Ashley St.Angelo is writing this. These are the same things that he's mad that I didn't respond to his emails because they were useless emails. Why don't they tell the truth, you ask? Because the truth does not provide for good ratings. These are two sick individuals who, in my opinion, need psychiatric treatment to fix whatever went wrong in their head, to go out and publicly destroy anybody, especially innocent people, because they can, and because they're ashamed of the actions of Aiden and being publicly exposed for his sexual indecencies towards minors or unknown woman being publicized. Unfortunately, it's not the public, Aiden, it's not the public's fault you're a pervert. It is the fault of your own deviant mind that you got caught and publicly shamed for it. So if you want to hide behind journalistic media and do all that you can for the media, must do verify facts and state troops, blah, 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 blah. Hiding your Turtleboy site ownership and registered location for the rest of the world that shows that you, sir, are a real scumbag and have plenty to hide. Oh, and no fear, they leave nobody out. They pick on white, they pick on black, they pick on LGBT, they pick on Mexicans, and so on. Nobody's left behind. Doing this without providing any information of who they really are shows they are complete cowardly. But now you know who they really are and they represent. This is the definition of real scumbag people, and we are here to out the truth. They are a couple of ashamed racists who go out of their way to destroy good people because of their own shameful actions. They even have used their Turtleboy site and live media to cry and beg for money to support their family because they claim they were broke. And by the end, they actually used the money they received in donations to take lavish vacations. Someone's in contact with a former blogger. Not what the money, not what the money was meant for, as they cried out for it online and still do to support their family. Don't give them your money. Shame on them for that. People work hard for their money. Why can't Aiden? Says the guy who's on Social Security. One of the links states Aiden says he is not the owner of the blog when it is clearly registered to him, and he on many other sites admitted it was him. He is the owner. Again, chicken shit to harm people and lie at a public event. Why lie? I mean, this just goes on and on. Okay. Posts the petitions, posts where my wife works, all this stuff. Okay. Let's get Turtleboy Sports shut down. We requested comments from Aiden Carney and his wife, wondering if they will respond. Turtleboy's primary email is requested for us not to contact them again. Once again, so remember I said, don't contact me again. Yeah, he posts that and it's like, you're hiding like chicken shits. They need to rename their site Chicken Boy Sports. By the way, what does sports have to do with the actions they take on behalf of destroying people? I just received a call back from one of Aiden's family members who stated they can't stomach him. If we as readers thought he was bad online, deal with him in real life. He's a mama's boy, they stated. As some of our readers have seen him in real life, he is absolutely disrespectful and lies in your face in real life. So I can only imagine how he is to family. Well, family member, I wish you the best of luck. So, of course, this is all made up. Again, Mr. Carney, more lies. You will always get caught. I have now had 7,922 views, and people are furious about many other posts Mr. Carney has put up on his page. Once again, they will always be a scumbag. And Mr. Carney, you are a real scumbag and chicken shit for using the police to fight your battles and not being a stand-up person. I have apparently lost a client for a call by the... Okay, so I called the police about this, the Holden police. And I said, Ashley St.Angelo's putting this all out there. The Holden police contact Ashley St.Angelo, who, of course, denies it. And he's like, no, I'm not the Justice League. I just hired to it. And by the way, thank to anyone who's donated. I appreciate all the donos so far. Let me refresh that. If any, did I thought I had one somewhere. Let me see. Do I have the GoFundMe? Holy cow, $710 already. Holy shit. Thank you guys for donating. And I'm going to get to why I need that money soon. Because, I'm fired up now. I get fired up with donos. Now that I know there's people behind me, man, it makes me... I felt alone in the courtroom today, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, because no one's there. Nobody can watch. And, like, you're just sitting in the lunacy of it all, watching this transpire and watching a judge allow this to go on. And nobody... And I'm, like, in my world, I'm like, this is insane. And nobody is here to witness it but me. And I'm, like, looking at the court officers, and I'm, like, thinking they must realize that this is insane. They must realize that this is madness. So thank you. The donos, more than anything, let me know that I'm not alone. I appreciate that. So he goes, we have apparently lost a client for a call by the police in an apparent attempt to intimidate or harass the client. So he's acting like, oh, no, the Justice League is no longer affiliated with Ashley St.Angelo since I called the police. But we are here for the client, and we will continue to work on their story. So we're not affiliated with Ashley St.Angelo anymore. But we're going to continue to, advocate for them anyway, because that's just what the Justice League does. They'll do it pro bono. Unfortunately, their name will no longer be displayed, but their story and justice for them will continue. Just so you know, Turtleboy, we will not stop or be stopped until you... This is the interesting part. We will not stop or be stopped until you give in or are ruined completely by the actions you've caused. So they're not going to stop unless I'm ruined or given. This is terrorism. This is literally, I'm going to stalk and harass you until you give me everything that I want. This could all be resolved by doing the right, honest thing, yet you refused. So enjoy everything coming your way. That's threatening. Okay. And again, how does he prove it's... How did my wife get dragged into this? What's he talking about? And I don't know what this thing is he posted. Turtleboysports@gmail.com. Possible owner, and it's like my wife. What? I don't even like this. I searched for this, like who owns turtleboysports@gmail.com. Her name doesn't come up, but he puts it out there, and then he posts a picture of us, and then there's this. Okay, there's my kids. They're very cute, aren't they? Look at that picture. And this fucking pisses me off. I'm not gonna lie. This like gets my blood boiling when I see this. Look at the response. Look at the response underneath this photograph. So there's my son who's 3 and my daughter who's 5. And it says, I hope these kids are not being sexually demonized by their father. Lord, pray for these kids. I can't tell you how enraging it is to see that and hurtful. Like I don't post pictures of innocent children on my website. Saying that my wife and I sexually abused these children. This is what he's doing because because I didn't take the blog down about him. This is the revenge he gets. He posts pictures of my children. Yeah. This is the person that, I'm trying to keep it intact here. Okay. And he posts my email saying, do not contact me or my family again. And he posts like corporations owned by and whatever. It means absolutely nothing. So that is the blog that he published. So I see this and I'm like, okay, who's going to see this blog? I'm like, if a tree falls in the woods and nobody hears it, does it really fall? Whatever. Like, who cares? Well, he starts emailing my in-laws, my family members, this blog, and my wife's employer, because they can't get to me. I'm untouchable. So they just try to get to people that you care about. And so she teaches in a school in the Fitchburg Public Schools, right? And they get contacted about this. And she gets called out about it. And she came home very upset about this. And that pains me to see that. It pains me to see that. Because she didn't sign up for any of this. And like, I was a teacher when this happened. You know what I mean? Like, this was not the plan. And, you know, she's quiet, goes about doing her business that has nothing to do with what I do for a living, nothing. And is now being taken out of class to answer for this. And they, quite frankly, administration asked them, like, is this true? So I called the superintendent up and I spoke with him. I said, look, here's what I do for work. I write about controversial figures. Some of them are crazy and you might get contacted in the future. So we need a plan going forward because you have to protect your family. And I said, please do not bother her with this. Don't even mention it to her. He's like, well, I had to mention they made some serious allegations. And I said, who is they? A person named Jenny Manning. Who's Jenny Manning? Do you know? So any anonymous person can just send the superintendent of the school district an email making baseless allegations about one of your teachers. And then you bother that teacher and pull them out of class and stigmatize them. That's what you do. So I can do this to any one of your teachers in the Fitchburg Public Schools. I can just pick a teacher out of the directory, make up an allegation, say this teacher diddles school children. And you're going to call them down and say, do you diddle school children? And he understood my point, and it hasn't happened since. But it's ridiculous that this would even be humored. Like, who cares if some random person sends you an email? You just delete it and block it, and you move on with your day. It's not true, of course. So why are you bothering them with it? Why are you letting the bad guys win? The bad guys win when they get a rise out of you. I mean, use your brain. So, I go to the police after this happens. I go to the Holden police and I tell them everything that happened. And they contact Ashley St.Angelo, who then gets in the car and drives to Holden to speak with the police. And they file a police report. And let's bring that up. Hold on one sec. Hold on. We'll be right back. All right. Did I lose you guys? Sorry about that. Are we going to witness an audit? No. You like that share? Yeah, intermission. Okay. So let me pull up this report. Where'd it go? Is this it? Let me see. No, that's not the one. I want this one. Is this the abuse prevention order? Oh, okay, here it is. All right. So this is a picture of the police report. And I don't know if you guys can see this. Make it bigger. But it says that Mrs. St.Angelo went on to say she had a difficult time since the article came out. She even lost out on Section 8 housing due to the article. I explained to her she has rights. She should contact the court system where she lives to see if there's any possible avenues she can pursue. Mrs. St.Angelo was quite upset about the article and stated several times that she wished Mr. Carney would take it down. And this is what it's all about. Mrs. St.Angelo went on to say, 2 separate occasions within the conversation, that many years ago, I would have driven in the house. And so this is what he told the police, okay? That many years ago, I would have driven to the house and beat the shit out of him. Or that is she hadn't changed. She would have handled this herself through physical means. Mrs. St.Angelo then again requested that I ask Mr. Carney to take the article and that if I was successful in this, she would buy everyone lunch. Lobsters, I don't care. So he attempted to bribe the Holden police with lobsters into getting me to remove the blog. Insane. Insane. Hold on one sec. Tuesday, January 12th, 2021 was my next shift. Upon my arrival, I checked my email and received emails from Mr. Carney stating that Miss Manning had not stopped contacting him. I then looked into the blog about Mr. Carney, and there was an update, which stated that a client of theirs had been contacted by the police and spoken to. The update went on to say that they would not stop or be stopped until you give in or are ruined completely by the actions they've caused. I then attempted to this was directed to Mr. Carney as he had refused to take the article down. I then attempted to contact the Justice League and Mrs. Manning specifically. I was able to make contact with the Justice League through an internet search. I was unable to make contact with the Justice League through Facebook. I find this odd, as this is an apparent anti-defamation group whose sole purpose is to assist people online. Furthermore, there was no contact information on the blog that was posted via WordPress.com. This is a website that allows people to create their own blogs. I've also found it strange that the About Us story explaining who the Justice League is was created and posted on the same day as the article in regards to Miss St.Angelo. Also, there were only 2 blogs from the site on the Justice League. I waited to hear back from Mrs. Manning before I contacted Mrs. St.Angelo. So the police are like, basically like, we know that this Justice League is clearly, they're establishing that this Justice League is Ashley, because Ashley's just writing these ridiculous things on there about us. Right. And like hiding behind this whole, like, oh, it's not me, it's the Justice League. Well, there is no Justice League. Okay. On Wednesday, January 13th, I received a radio call to proceed to the lobby of our station to assist a party in the lobby with paperwork. Upon my arrival, I met and spoke with Miss St.Angelo. Miss St.Angelo had paperwork for Mr. and Mrs. Carney in regards to a civil case that had come from the blog story. Mrs. St.Angelo handed me a civil restraining order that she stated need to be served to the Carneys. So at this point, he had gone down to the courthouse in Providence, Superior Court, and got Judge Melissa Darrigan to grant this order. And he's like, I want you, the Holden police, to serve this to Aiden Carney. Okay. Mrs. St.Angelo had paperwork. I reviewed the restraining order and saw that it was a civil order. While reviewing the order, I read over the affidavit that Mrs. St.Angelo had filed. Within the affidavit, it stated Officer H32, that is my badge number, advised me to get an immediate restraining order and hinted that I may need it. However, I had never told Mrs. St.Angelo anything of the sort. So Ashley goes down to the courthouse in Providence and tells the judge, the Holden police told me to get a restraining order against you. He gets it. He brings it to the Holden police. The Holden police read over the affidavit, and they decide that none of this stuff is true. So here's Ashley's affidavit. It's specific. I'm going to read this to you. Okay. This is the affidavit. This got him an order. Now, to get an order in court, you're supposed to have some sort of evidence. This is what he wrote to get the order from Judge Darrigan. The owner of Turtleboy Sports, and they list both of us, have posted false allegations toward my 16-year-old daughter and soon-to-be ex-wife. False claims of using my ex-wife's social security number, claiming I'm using false means to profit from my daughter's disappearance, and sexually harassing me by means of calling me out for being transgender. That has incited violence towards myself and my son, both online and in person. There has been rocks, bricks, and eggs, and so on. Remember that? Remember that, guys? Remember, this is the same exact thing she used on those other people. Rocks, bricks, and eggs thrown through my windows. That's the lie that he repeats whenever. It's the same story all the time. I contacted them in response to disprove their false claims, and they blasted my email to them on YouTube, making fun of it. I asked them what proof I need to send them in order to get their posts off the internet, and they responded in a general response that they would take the word of a 16-year-old screaming for help over mine. On 12/29, I sent them another message online. Again, if I could send them proof, because since the first email on 9/2, the violence towards me and my son has gotten worse. Now, does he provide any evidence that any violence has taken place towards him? No, of course not. Does he have a police report about rocks being thrown through his window or people calling him? No, of course not. They replied, quote, "Calm down, sir," and asked what evidence I had. Since then, everything that without a doubt their story was false, and they knew it was from the beginning. So he's like, I sent them evidence. No, you didn't. You guys read those emails. He didn't send any evidence. They called me and asked if I would go on their show, and I replied no. They said, sucks for you then. I begged and pleaded for them to take it down, and due to the violence, and they said, go on the show. I ended up looking for help and found an online group to help a few days later, the Justice League. Then I got a call from Holden Police, badge number 32, because Mr. Carney blamed me for harassing him, in which I did not. But apparently the online group was in contact with him, and the officers stated that he believed it was not me harassing the Carneys. Here's what he's saying. They believed it was not me harassing the Carneys, but advised me to immediately get a restraining order, hinting that I might need it. Remember, the police officer specifically said, no, I never said that. And the cops called Judge Darrigan. And I told Judge Darrigan this today, and what she said, and I couldn't believe when she said this. She said, I don't believe them. I go, you think the Holden police are lying? She goes, I don't know who to believe, because I tried calling the Holden police and they didn't call me back. So I don't trust them at this point. A judge said this in a courtroom today, that she doesn't believe a police department. She thinks these cops are lying. I swear to God, that Ashley St.Angelo, she doesn't know who to believe, the deranged psychopath that lies all the time, or the Holden police. I don't know who's more credible. This is what we're dealing with. Okay. Turtleboy readers, and in the tone in the officer's tone of voice, I'm begging for you to get a restraining order for myself and get the post taken down. So nowhere in there is there any evidence. They provide any evidence that I did anything wrong. Nothing. And the judge is like, you know what? This is good. We'll grant an order. What happens when you have an order against you? Well, you lose your LTC. You can't have a gun. You lose other civil rights. It's kind of a big deal to have orders placed against you. Judges should not just be handing them out. They're supposed to be for serious things. Okay? And he goes, I returned to the lobby and explained to Miss St.Angelo, the cop said, and I also advised her that she had misrepresented me in her affidavit. Miss St.Angelo stated, that's what you told me. I assured her that I said nothing of the sort. I knew that she would not qualify for, this is what the cops say, I knew that she would not qualify for a restraining order, and yet she did. He did. The only advice I gave her was that she should seek legal advice through the court or through an attorney if she felt she had been wronged. I asked her when I hinted that she needed a restraining order. To which she replied, "Your voice deepened." I told her that never happened. She went on to say that, quote, "My memory is shot. I can't remember the conversation," and that maybe she was misinterpreted what I had said. I also told her that I was unable to get a hold of either the Justice League or Jenny Manning, and I was beginning to doubt if they exist. I told Miss St.Angelo that I find it especially suspicious that the only one that can get a hold of this group is Miss St.Angelo. And this is what he said in court today. "Oh, I'll get a hold of him. I'll get a hold of him, Your Honor. I'll get a hold of him." I went on to explain to Miss St.Angelo that given the fact that I cannot get a hold of this group, Miss Manning cannot confirm that they are real people, and that the only goal of the Justice League is to keep a blog up until Mr. Carney takes his blog about Miss St.Angelo down. So yeah, it's like literally, I mean, the cops get it. They're not stupid, but the judge doesn't believe the cops. I have formulated the professional opinion that Miss St.Angelo is the author of the blog. Further, there is no Justice League, and Miss St.Angelo's purpose is not to inform the public about Mr. Carney, but rather her sole purpose in posting this blog is to intimidate Mr. Carney into taking down his post about Mrs. St.Angelo. Miss St.Angelo stated that the group was real. I told her to get in contact with them and to have them. As the writing of this report, I still have not heard from any party. I informed Miss St.Angelo that I would be filing this report should either party need it. On Friday, I called the Rhode Island Superior Court to advise of the inaccuracy in Miss St.Angelo's affidavit. The clerk I spoke with merely said that the hearing is on the 25th. So here's the Holden police saying, I contacted the Providence court. The Holden police did their job. They said, I contacted the Rhode Island court. I told them, no, this guy lied. He committed, this is under the Payne's penalty version. He lied in his affidavit to get you to grant an order. Believe me, I'm a cop. I contacted them. And they wrote back, not really interested. Hearings on the 25th. Yeah. So this kept getting delayed. And finally, while this was happening, I went and got an order of my own. And I got it in Leominster District Court, and it was granted. And we had a hearing sometime in early February. And the order was granted for me for a full year because the Judge Noonan is really good up in Leominster. He's fair. He doesn't give out orders. And I'm like, I have over 20 instances because you need 3. I got over 20 instances of emails. After I asked him, stop contacting me, he kept contacting me. And I showed him the blog and the pictures. And I mean, this is scary shit this guy's doing. And I'm told him he's contacting to get to me. He's contacting employers. And this needs to end, Your Honor. And so I had the order was granted. Here is the restraining order. Okay. They granted this order. And no threats or insightful posts or comments regarding the plaintiff or family on social media, texts, or email. No contact with the plaintiff's employers either. So boom, done. Judge Noonan gets it. The Holden police get it. It's pretty simple. Well, this order is in place. And, literally about a week or 2 later, he violates the order by contacting the employer once again. So the Fitchburg police called me and they said, we have a voicemail here. They left this voicemail at the school threatening to show up for a teacher who's a sexual deviant or something. So they played the voicemail and they said, do you recognize that voice? I said, that's Ashley St.Angelo. I recognize it from court because I was in court with them. And they go, okay. Done. We're putting a warrant out for his arrest. So a warrant was put out for their arrest. But warrants are non-extraditable, apparently. So Ashley lives in East Providence, which borders, I think, Swansea or Seekonk or Attleboro, one of those towns. I don't know. But it's right on the Massachusetts border there. And so if he goes into Seekonk and causes problems, he can get arrested. But he can't get arrested in East Providence. The East Providence police are well aware. They know this warrant exists, and they can't do a damn thing about it. This is how crazy our justice system is. So I get into court today, and I'm telling my story. And I'm like this judge must be reasonable right there, judge. once they hear my story and I show them the pictures, I mean, those are powerful things I showed, the pictures. And by the way, one more thing, let me bring this up. This is from somebody else they sent me after I first mentioned this person. Check this out. So, okay. Ashley St.Angelo has threatened me and my family before as well. This person is a psychopath. I'll show you the threats if you'd like to see them, but would prefer to remain anonymous, please. Let me know if you're interested in seeing them. Thank you. And so they sent me these screenshots of something Ashley had sent. And here they are. This is what Ashley sends. Where'd it go? So this is what they sent to this woman on September 28th, 2017, 4 years ago. Says, what business is it of yours to go through my personal info? Second of all, I just looked you up on my paid program, and you and your entire family has info out there you wouldn't want to embarrassed about. So don't try to embarrass me, because I will post it all. This is his shtick. Just like, I'll post stuff about your family if you cross me on the internet. That's okay. Now I'm posting all your family's secrets, including criminal records and addresses and phone numbers. And I'm going to post them everywhere. I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoy putting false shit online, because all of yours will be accurate. Hee hee. If that post is not removed in 2 minutes, it's the same thing. Like, so apparently this person got into a tiff with Ashley St.Angelo in the comment section somewhere on Facebook. And Ashley St.Angelo reacted by like, if you don't take that comment down, I'm going to post stuff about your family everywhere. This is the same thing he's doing with me. If you don't take that blog down about me, I'm going to post stuff about your family everywhere. It's criminal. And yes, your family does have criminal records. Your personal info is now on the web, and so is your family's. Enjoy. This is madness. Madness. They also went on to say that, I'm like, how did you know this person? Yeah, he's a whack job. I'm from Mass, but I just so happen to be on whatever, for East Providence. He makes threats to many and have made threats in the past. He preys on people and acts like he can get any criminal records and will try to dox and expose people online. But did you see his record? He is a domestic abuser, so he has a record. We found it on the judicial portal. We only looked because of the message he sent to me. He really is a psychopath, and he plays so much. Did you see his YouTube channel? Oh, his YouTube channel is a trip too. The reason why he came after me was because I asked on the East Providence page if he was a man or a woman. And I didn't say anything about transgender, but he's very vocal in that whole trans thing. He always accuses others of transphobia. You literally cannot criticize this weird guy ever. Whatever you do, please do not bring up anything against the whole trans thing, because he will surely use that against me and have to go to court, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, let's see what else. So, and they post all this shit. Anyway, that was nice of this person to write these things. And yeah. Anyway, so I go to court today with this, and I'm like, okay, the judge will get this, and we'll be in and out. I've been to these hearings a million times before. It's pretty straightforward, this stuff. And I took notes about, what happened today. And basically, the first thing he came in and he said, Your Honor, I'd like to move the date because my lawyer couldn't be here in time. I already had to get childcare, take care. Like, it was a huge hassle to get to Providence. I don't live close to Providence. And so I go down there, and like, the judge is going to let this happen. Like, yeah, we'll be back. We can do this again. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I explained my whole thing and that whole pitch I gave up there. And I'm like, it seemed like she was moved by it. I'm like, this is what they've put our family through. There's a warrant out for his arrest, and you're forcing me to be next to this individual. And instead, she basically lashed out at me and said, you were rude and disrespectful to my clerk when you were emailing her, because I was trying to get the date changed. You were rude and disrespectful to my clerk. So this woman does not like me, this judge. And the guy says who his lawyer is. And he's like, Your Honor, I would ask him not to post the name of, I don't want to say the name of my lawyer, because then he'll put my lawyer's name out there and his fans will go after him. And the judge asks me, are you going to mention the name of his lawyer? The judge has no right to ask me that. Like, are you going to mention? I'll mention anyone's name. I'm not going to right now. But you have no right to ask me that. None. So, and like if a lawyer takes on a case, this is not some private courtroom. I can say the name of the lawyer if I want to. And the judge says, I don't care. She goes, yeah, you've written about me before. Like, oh no, how dare I criticize the judge that allowed this to happen? How dare? She's a judge. She's very important, guys. Very important. How dare? She's like, you can criticize me all you want. I don't care. I'll take it. But don't criticize the lawyers. Excuse me? And she realized she couldn't make me. But she was like making me feel like, don't you dare. Like, don't think twice about that. And so he has to file. Like, she's like, I want you to file this again. Like, I tell my whole story and they tell hers. And I said, and her quote was, I don't know who to believe here. I'm like, well, I have evidence. I have police reports. I have this and this and this. This person has nothing. Like, Your Honor, I got bricks through my windows and eggs and rocks. And I said, I go, this is going on. The judge asked me, can you take the blog down? I said, no, I'm not taking the blog down. That blog has a right to be there. Well, this is going to drag out then. And you're going to need a lawyer. A lawyer? Never needed a lawyer for a hearing. He's like, well, this is going to drag out. There's going to be a lot of court dates for this because there's a lot to unwrap here. And we got to get to there's not a lot to unwrap here. It's rather simple. A psychopath made up some lies. That's it. And you granted an order. You provided no evidence. There's literally nothing to unwrap here. I've never contacted this individual. And you need to contact somebody to get a harassment order. I've never done that, Your Honor. So there's literally nothing to unwrap. Well, yes, there is, she says. And it's her courtroom, not mine. So I'm like, this is going on. I was there for 3 hours. We had a freaking recess. And I said, finally, I'm like, reached the point. I'm like doing this in my head. I'm like, am I going to have to come back here so many times for this? How much is this going to like, do I need to get a lawyer? How much is this going to cost me? Is it worth it? I've already written the blog. People aren't going to forget the name Marissa St.Angelo if I take it down. And so I said, I'm like, what if I took the blog down? And she goes, are you willing to do it? I'm like, yeah. If this goes away, if he drops the order. But that wasn't enough. They also want to, and I take that back. I'm reneging on that, just to be clear. Because he asked, not only do you have to take the blog down, you also have to go to Leominster District Court and ask the judge to get rid of the order. And the judge is like, will you do that? And I thought about it more on the ride home. I'm like, these abuse prevention orders are there to prevent abuse for victims. And here you have a judge asking me to make it unsafe for me and others who I care about. Asking me to go to a judge and say, take that back, which puts us in danger because this prevention order protects us. If he violates it, there can be a warrant out for his arrest. He's broken the law. If there's no order, he's just going to do it all over again. And then I'll go to the judge and the judge is going to be like, no, I'm not granting an order this time. This isn't a game. I granted you one. I'm not doing it again. And I wouldn't blame him for that. This isn't a game. And I know exactly. I'm like, so the judge is attempting to get me to voluntarily make it unsafe for us and to get a judge in Massachusetts to drop an order because this person is essentially blackmailing us into it. Like, well, if you don't, then I'm going to keep writing about you. And I said, Your Honor, as part of this all, if I'm going to do this Justice League thing, this website, this needs to come down too. And he's like, well, I tried contacting them and I emailed them. And then we took a recess. He's like, Your Honor, I contacted them during the recess and they agreed to take it down. Of course. I mean, it's amazing the judge can't see this. There's no Justice League. She didn't even look at the police report because the Holden police are lying. Remember? She called an entire department of police officers in Massachusetts liars. A judge did this. Madness. Absolute madness. Okay. So this whole thing goes on. There's probably a lot I'm missing here, but the bottom line is this. And I thought about this first. I'm like, I was willing to. I'm like, should I just take it down? Who cares? I'm like, my life would be a lot easier without Ashley St.Angelo in it. But then I talked to my buddy Mark Randazza, attorney, who've had on my program a couple times. It's like, dude, you got to fight. He goes, I can't tell you what to do. But he told me a personal anecdote about his life, and he's like, you got to fight, man. This is like, he will tell every other ratchet in the world that this is how you stop Turtleboy. If you get blogged about, you just make a harassment order, and he'll just give you whatever you want. It's like, you need to fight for this. And if people support you, it's like, he goes, I know I can get you an attorney in Rhode Island. It might cost some money, but you got to fight this, man. He goes, you are the next, like Howie Carr, like you're the freedom fight. You're all the people have. You have to fight this. And I'm like, I do. I can't just cave in. People have fought and died for these liberties to speak truly. I'm going to give in to this transgender activist. Why? Because some tyrant judge, some incompetent hack. And I'm looking around the courtroom today. I'm like, everybody here is getting paid except for me. The judge is getting paid her salary. She doesn't care. The clerk's getting paid. The court officer's getting paid. And Ashley St.Angelo is collecting Social Security and disability. Meanwhile, I'm like missing out on work for this. So the bottom line is this. I want to, like, I'm not, it's ridiculous that I have to fight this, but you have to fight back. I have to fight back. So I've started a GoFundMe, and I'd like to thank everybody who's donated so far. I really appreciate that. Holy crap. Just in this episode alone, we've raised $1,841 on the GoFundMe. Never mind the super chat money. And that, it's not the money that I care about. It's what the money represents. And that represents support for not only me, not only the principle of free speech, but protecting victims. Let's not forget, this is about his kids that were abused, and they're coming after me. He's been coming after them all their lives. And now he's coming after me because I spoke for them. And we should not let some tyrant judge. And the judge is not going to grant the order. We all know that. At the end of the day, I'm not the least bit worried about this order being granted. What I'm worried about is the time and money it's going to take to fight it. And I'm like, is it worth it? But now we are. Now, like, done. We're doing this. So feel free. Any donations are appreciated. I really thank you guys for that. And because this has been a hard day, I ain't gonna lie. And this guy is one of the reasons that, like, a major reason that contributed to, like, my mental health problems, because it's caused a lot of problems. Like, this guy's caused a lot of damage, and he doesn't go away. I even took the blog down temporarily to see if he'd stop, and he didn't. So clearly taking the blog down doesn't work. You can't give in to these people. So I put it right back up. So anyway, why don't I answer any questions you guys have? And yeah, like I said, thank you guys. I really appreciate the support. It means more than you can imagine. I don't know how that works. But so the ACLU, they can't do anything because the judge has not violated my free speech because she hasn't ordered anything to come down. If the judge orders a blog to come down, that's a violation of the First Amendment. But the judge has not done that. She's just suggested I do that and kind of coerced me. Like, if you don't take this down, this is going to take a lot of time. I have another hearing. So when I left there, we left under the auspices of, like, okay, we're going to make a deal and take this down. And we're going to have a meeting on April 29th on WebEx. I'm not doing that anymore. So, I mean, we can have it, but I'm not taking anything down. And this attorney is supposed to contact me. They haven't contacted me yet. So the ACLU in this situation, the Rhode Island ACLU has helped me before, but that is only because a judge in the Failure Swift case ordered me to take a blog down. And that's when the ACLU would actually like to get involved in this, but they can't in this one. Yes, I am on Callahan tomorrow. Do you still feel alone? No, I don't anymore. But I felt very alone in that courtroom today. Because I'm like, the madness of it all. And it's like taking place and you have the mask on. I was so thirsty in there talking to a mask for 3 hours, having a freaking mask on and talking. I'm like, you felt you're like, what is this world I'm living in right now? And the court officers, I spoke with them. I talked with the sheriffs there, and they tried to have him arrested on the spot, and they couldn't do it. They knew about the warrant. They looked it up, and they're like, we can't do anything about it. Sorry. The funny thing is, nobody even noticed if you took the blog down. Exactly. Like this blog, you all forgot about this blog. Nobody remembers this blog. So I'm not going to answer questions that aren't related to this. I'm just going to talk about this for now. Yeah, you got to fight. You got to fight. Yeah, I mean, I'll have the Holden police be witnesses. I'll have the girls be witnesses. Thanks, Willie. Can you ask for attorney's fees? No, probably not. They're not going to grant him, not to some idiot like this. Did the judge read TBS herself? I think she read it during the recess because she made the comment about like being on the blog when she came back. Like she acted like, how dare you? Like, it's okay. She acted like she was upset that I blogged about her. But like, she's also like, I realize that she's very good at walking the line, this judge. Like, I know that like, I can't stop you from writing about me, but I know, I just want to let you know that I know. And you can write about me all you want. So, I mean, ask the judge, she should recuse. I mean, there's no grounds to recuse herself, you know? And you're right, Amanda. This does show how much the writers appreciate you do. Keep being the voice for the voiceless. Thank you. Read the code of judicial conduct. Well, that's a good point. I could get a hearing with him here and have him arrested. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Can I request a new judge? I don't know how that works. So I need to talk to a lawyer. Bottom line is I got to talk to a lawyer now. Now that I have some money to do it, we're going to do this. So I'm going to get in touch with a lawyer. I mean, some of these attorneys in Providence, like the cheapest you're going to find is like $400 an hour. They're very expensive. And, we'll see. Maybe they can help me out a little bit. We can work something out. I appreciate that. Yeah, the Thursday show's still on. Right. It is correct. She is extorting me. That's a great way to put this. Is literally extortion. It's like, I'm going to terrorize your family until you take something down that I want. Because that thing that I want down exposes me for being a predator. And I don't want to be known as a predator, even though I am one. And I easily could have just been like, you know what? It's not worth it. But eventually you have to fight for something. You have to stand for something. And it's just amazing that it's one thing if this person's doing it, but the fact that the judge is allowing it to happen. And I've looked this up. The judge has granted orders for him in the past. The judge likes this person. It's very clear. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate that. You know, I don't like question things. Appreciate that, man. Him saying I talked to the Justice League is proof he'll lie to the judge. Right. Exactly. I mean, I presented all this to the judge and she's like, I don't know who's lying. There's a lot to unpack here. Basically, I'm going to draw this out for as long as possible. I don't know what's going on here. I haven't had time to look at any of this stuff. Really? I like that one idea too. Okay. Anything else, guys, before we call it a night? Thank you guys for all the donos. I really appreciate that. 1981. Wow. Thank you. I'd read them all off. Holy shit. You guys got a lot of donations. Wow. Holy cow. I cannot believe this. Oh my goodness. Can't find that Justice League was developed from his. I mean, that requires like state police and stuff to get involved. They're not going to do that. A lot of people think that it's really easy to do that. It's very complicated. I don't know if she has violated the code of judicial conduct. I mean, she was very careful not to, you know. She doesn't have to drop the order. Failure Swift, he was represent. Yeah, exactly. I was correct. And that was the other thing with like not wanting to release the name of the attorney that he has. I'm like, this is all public. I'm going to call the court tomorrow and get the transcript. It's all public. Like they said the name of the judge on the record. I mean, the lawyer on the record, you know? Thank you, Jay Russell. I was wrong. All right. Anything else, guys? Dowdy has a lawyer. The judge claimed that she spoke with the attorney during the recess, and that the attorney is going to be in contact with me about this. But it's very clear at this point that the judge does not like me, doesn't like that I've written about her, and she's like, "I'm going to make your life difficult," and I have the power to. I'm like standing. I'm like, I don't even live in this stupid state. Why am I here right now? Who are you to me? You're nothing. I don't pay taxes to you. I don't follow your stupid laws. I don't come to your state ever. Like, what do you want from me? Why am I here right now? Why am I like, what if I lived in California? Would you make me fly here? Yeah. So the court next day, we're supposed to have a WebEx on the 29th, but now we'll probably have something else, a court date. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, any info maybe you guys can help me. Any info you can find on this judge, let me know. I'm very interested in learning more about the judge. Yeah, I mean, I like that too. Like this story needs to be told. Mike Cernovich, people like that, like needs to be told. How did Ashley get an attorney? Ashley claimed that he went to like 12 different attorneys who all turned him down because they were too scared to take on me. Or they were just like, no, dude, this is stupid. You're crazy. Probably more like that. She does. You're right. But I don't know if she did make a comment on a prejudicial case. I did call him he the whole time in court. I'm like, him. Are you going to bring this up on Jerry tomorrow? I don't know. It's up to Jerry. It's his show. All right. Anything else, guys, before we call it a night? Man, it's late. Holy shit. What an audience this has been. Impromptu show. Man, like, this has got me razzled. I'm not going to lie. Fucking bad day today. Bad day. But you guys made me feel a lot better. Just dealing with this bullshit. You know what I mean? I'm trying to run a blog here. There's a lot of stories I want to write, and I can't do it because of this lunatic and this judge in this stupid state. Yeah. All right, guys. So we will see you guys all, I guess, tomorrow night for the real live show. And we'll talk then. Peace, Artoritis. Thank you again for all the support too. I love you guys too. Thank you.